SportsBeat is brought to you by Ken Garth. We hear you.
Takes a long J, got it. Donovan, stagger step, 3 ball straight away. Yes! He's unbelievable. He takes on Gobert, goes baseline, the J is away. Good. Looks high, the lob is away, tapped out, it's over. Oh! They caught a foul. Oh, there's a foul in the back. Here we go. To tie. Got it. Crunch time. Rudy's there. No. Oh! And they're going to call a foul on Gobert. He's done. Donovan again straight away. It's out. And the horn sounds. And the 10-game winning streak ends. Gobert could only watch.
All good things must come to an end. For the Utah Jazz, it was their 10-game win streak. It took overtime and 48 points from Brandon Ingram to do it. Now the Jazz try to start a new streak tonight. And they'll be getting some help. Mike Conley's back. He'll play tonight after missing 14 games with a hamstring injury. Sam Farnsworth joins us live from Vivint Smart Home Arena. Sam, how will the return of Mike Conley impact the Jazz tonight?
Well, it certainly isn't going to hurt the Jazz. I mean, you're adding a 6th player to this lineup that averages double figures in scoring for the season, so that's a good thing. Mike Conley even said this morning at shoot-around that he feels like he's a better player because of his time on the bench and away from the game. He's been able to look at this team and his teammates from a different perspective. But it doesn't mean it's been an easy process for him. He actually admitted that this has been one of the most difficult things he's been through throughout his career, primarily because he's felt good for the past couple of weeks. He said he could run, he could jump, he could dunk. But the Jazz wanted to take the cautious route and not rush the recovery. It's had its ups and downs, there's no doubt about that. Now Conley, though, is just ready to be a participant instead of an observer in what the Jazz are doing.
Man, really, it's been positive for the most part. Obviously, it's a little bit draining because you want to be a part of success, and whatever hand you can play in that, you just want to be a part of it, and just seeing what the guys were able to accomplish in the last month or so has been great and fun, and just seeing the growth of the team, and I just really want to be involved and really want to be a part of that. So, you know, just trying from the sidelines as much as I can. Like I said, staying engaged, being a teammate, being a guy I can be for this team, even when I'm not playing.
The Jazz, they were 12-9 with Conley before he first went down with his hamstring injury. The Jazz went on to win 16 of the next 20 games, and they've had one of the top offenses in the league. But it's hard to believe the Jazz are not going to be a better team with the return of Conley, because that's what they will be, is better offensively. He said today that he feels like he knows the tendencies of his teammates better than before, which will make for a smoother transition back to play.
We're a different team, honestly, than a month ago. The way we move the ball, the way that I think guys are learning where and when to be aggressive. I mean, Donovan and Rudy obviously have played at a very high level. Joe has become himself again and done the things that we are accustomed to seeing him do. Georgie, I mean, guys that have really just thrived in their new roles. Has really allowed for us to just be a complete team, just move the ball, play defense, and lock in on the details.
I mean, you heard him. He knows the chemistry on this team has been very good over the last several games. It'll be interesting to see how Conley mixes back into that and redevelops his chemistry with his teammates. Coach Quinn Snyder did say within the last hour that he will be placed on a minutes restriction in this game. He didn't say exactly how many minutes, but I would imagine that it's not going to be a whole lot. You can follow the whole in-game coverage on KSLSports.com, and, of course, our post-game coverage coming up tonight on KSL 5 News at 10. Jeremiah?
Hey, Sam, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you what it was like when Mike Conley came up for warm-ups and took the court just a few minutes ago. What was it like to see him out there, and what few fans are there? What kind of reaction did he get?
Well, a warm welcome. Jazz fans, they love their Jazz players. They like Mike Conley, too, you know. And the thing I noticed about Mike is he's got that spring in his step, right? He does not look any slower than he may have been before the injury. I'm just interested, again, like I said, to see how he mixes back in with his teammates. But as far as just the eye test, he passes that 100%. I'm excited to see him back on the floor with the Jazz.
We will find out soon how that integration will take place. Sam will be back with you here momentarily. The Sacramento Kings will be shorthanded tonight. They just completed a trade. They sent Trevor Ariza, Wendell Gabriel, And Salt Lake City native Caleb Swanigan to the Blazers for Kent Bazemore and Anthony Tolliver. We'll see how that impacts their ability to compete. NBA action this afternoon. The Pelicans, fresh off their win over the Jazz, hosting another Western Conference contender. The Clippers, second quarter, Derek Favors gives it up and then gets it back for the dunk. He had 22 points, 11 boards for the Pels. Final seconds of the half, Lonzo Ball for three. The Pelicans tie their franchise record with 80 first-half points. Second half, the Clips take over, and they can defend. Kawhi pumps and dunks. He had 39, and in the final seconds, Sweet Lou Williams with 3 of his 32. Clippers win their 30th of the season by 3. So the latest look at the Western Conference standings show the Jazz now 1 game back of the Nuggets and Clippers. The Jazz sit in 4th place, a game and a half ahead of Houston. The Rockets host the Lakers tonight. The Nuggets will play the Pacers on Sunday. Now to college hoops. The bad thing about being in the same conference as Gonzaga is it's so hard to win conference titles when one of the best programs in the country stands in your way. The good thing about it? Well, it presents you with the chance to knock off the #1 team in the country. Like tonight, BYU's done it before, and in Spokane. They'll try to do it again at 8 p.m. Mountain Time when this game tips off. They get a shot at the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, 19-1, 5-0 in conference. Never mind the Matt Bushman video you're seeing right now. We're talking about the Zags, a very good Santa Clara team. Lost to them by 50. So the Cougars go to the kennel without Yoli Childs, but they have nothing to lose tonight and have a history of playing well in Spokane.
It's the greatest thing. Like, this Gonzaga team is a gift to our league. They just are. I mean, the fact that we get to go on the road, I don't know what game we're in, 4th or 5th game in the league, and we get to go on the road and play the #1 team in the country, and that we get to do that because they're in our league. It's awesome.
Now we're focusing on Gonzaga. Haven't really thought about them.
I mean, they're so good. They're so good that they can play bad and still win big.
We're playing a whole different beast on Saturday.
We're going to go fight, and our guys believe we can win.
The Cougars could use Matt Bushman tonight up in Spokane. Southern Utah hosting Sacramento State. The Thunder rolls again in Cedar City. Big Thunder going with the 2-2 on a Saturday afternoon. The Thunderbirds had a 15-point lead at halftime. Cameron Oluyatan had 19 points. He was 3 of 8 from 3. The bench had a great time today, too. Happy times in Cedar City. Utah State transfer John Knight III. He has hops. He had 13 off the bench. There's something in the water in Cedar City. That's freshman Jared Hoppo. He's from Australia. I guess they do things like that down there. The Thunderbirds are now 4-2 in Big Sky play. Texas Rio Grande Valley visiting Utah Valley. Emmanuel Olajupoke put on a show today. Throws it down with authority. And then in the second half, Olajupoke with another highlight reel dunk on the oop. This game was tied with 10 seconds to go. TJ Washington drives, dishes to Isaiah White. That is your game winner. Utah Valley gets a thrilling win. 74-72 the final, a great win for Mark Madsen's squad. Oregon on the road at Washington in Pac-12 play. It was the Peyton Pritchard show. The best player in the conference, and he showed why today. Ducks down 3, Pritchard ties it from downtown Seattle. In overtime, the floater. Washington ties it up, but with 5 seconds left, Pritchard, onions. You've got to be kidding me. What a shot. The Ducks are tough. They get the win on the road. Colorado on the road did not fare as well. Taking on Arizona, Wildcats up 10. Nico Mannion drives and draws for the foul with a double-digit lead. Final minute of the half, Dylan Smith with the steal and the hammer. And then Ira Lee throws one down as well. Arizona dominates. A home win. Up next, we'll go back to Vivint Arena. Sam has more with the Jazz and a cool thing the team is doing for Joe Ingles.
We're not happy with the mediocre 7-6 season, so we want to improve on that.
The NFL can wait for 2 BYU star players, Matt Bushman and Khyiris Tonga, explain why they passed up the NFL draft and what they want to accomplish as seniors. Utah Jazz hosting the Sacramento Kings tonight at 7 p.m. The Jazz will try and start a new win streak as Mike Conley returns after missing 14 games with a hamstring injury. And we go back to the arena. Sam Farnsworth there. Joe Ingles was having a terrific play during the win streak, and he's been phenomenal the last month, Sam.
Yeah, you know, his return to the starting lineup, since he's returned to the starting lineup, I should say, the Jazz, they've been playing lights-out basketball, and for that matter, so has Joe Ingles. In fact, he has 93 three-pointers this season, okay? 50 of those have come over the last 14-game stretch. He's shooting 51% from downtown during that stretch, and he's also finding his teammates averaging nearly 6 assists per game during that span. But for Joe, focusing on the Jazz and on basketball over the past couple of weeks has really been one of the hardest things he's had to do when his home country, along with several of his family and friends, they're dealing with those catastrophic fires in Australia. So Joe's pledging $500 for every 3 that he's made this season from the beginning of the season through the All-Star break to go towards relief efforts. And his teammates, they're helping out as well.
That'd been awesome. Rudy's been texting me every day about different links to donate to. Obviously Donovan, what he did with his shoe. But everyone's been obviously really supportive and trying to help. And like I said, the hardest part is obviously not being there. It's all you can really do from this far away is to donate and help raise the awareness and the money. And that's what we're obviously trying to do as a group. And obviously thankful that the Jazz have helped out as well.
Now, Joe and the Jazz, they're both also getting in on the effort to raise awareness for what's going on in Australia with a limited edition T-shirt that will be sold through the Jazz team store online and here at the arena beginning on Monday, January 27th when the Houston Rockets are in town. If you want to catch a sneak peek of that T-shirt, it's pretty sweet. You can do so at KSLSports.com. Also, Joe's encouraging fans to get involved as well. They can pledge through the American Red Cross for every three-pointer that he makes as well to donate towards that. All of those proceeds from the T-shirts go towards the firefighters that are fighting those fires in Australia. So I don't know, Jeremiah, I'm thinking maybe 6 or 7 threes tonight. Is that too much to ask from Joe?
Not at all, no. I think that's what we should expect from Joe every night. You know what? No, more the better. And it's great that they're doing this and an assist for what's going on in Australia from not only Joe but the Jazz. Great stuff, Sam.
No doubt.
All right, up next, big changes for the Utah State football coaching staff. And what a week for high school basketball in Utah. Dunk after dunk after dunk and some key region battles decided this week. We've got the best after this. The BYU football team faces a daunting schedule in 2020. Utah, Michigan State, Arizona State, and Minnesota on the road. And that's just the first month. That's why news that some key seniors are returning was welcome news in Provo. This week was our first chance to hear from Matt Bushman after he decided to return to BYU for his senior season. In 2019, he caught 47 passes for 688 yards and 4 touchdowns. At his age, the NFL was tempting, but he has unfinished business at BYU.
Okay, if I stay, I can definitely improve on some things. Hopefully, first of all, help our team have a better season. I mean, we're not happy with the mediocre 7-6 season, so we want to improve on that, but also hopefully if I can improve on some of my weaknesses and just get stronger this offseason, kind of increase my stock for next year's draft as well.
Khyiris Tonga is also back next season. The 6'4", 321-pound defensive tackle was planning on leaving early to enter the NFL draft, but after the bowl game, his parents convinced him that one more year at BYU would be in his best interest.
I kind of have my mind set on leaving way before the bowl game, and it stayed like that even after the bowl game until I started talking with my dad and with my family, and I kind of just put more thought into it and talked to Coach Kalani and Coach Elisa, and I just made the decision to return, and I'm just happy with this. So.
All right, now to Logan, where the return of Gary Anderson didn't go as well as planned in year one. The team fell short of expectations, especially in the bowl game against Kent State. So with that, changes are made with the coaching staff. Mike Sanford left to become the new offensive coordinator at Minnesota. So Gary now turns to Bodie Reeder to lead the Aggie offense. Reeder was most recently the offensive coordinator at North Texas.
He's a grinder, and we're looking for somebody that is a great quarterback teacher, can run a room, can be the general manager of the offense, and is tough, and that's what we've got.
Outside looking in, a program like this is tough, and they work hard, and they earn every inch that they get, and that's the type of program that I want to be a part of.
So how different will the Utah State offense look in 2020? We don't know a lot yet, but based on what Reeder said, you can expect it to be a lot different. The fast-paced offense may have to hit the brakes a little more next season.
I was an average high school basketball player, right? You know, so if I was guarding a guy that came from the opening tip going 1,000,000 miles an hour, my mind and my body sped up to his pace. But if I was going to guard a guy that was constantly changing pace, he was herky-jerky, he was going to, shuffle step me, that was tough. So I think that plays in the hands of the offense if they can change the pace of the game.
There are also changes on the defensive side of the ball. Coach Anderson has named current assistants Frank Miley and Stacy Collins as co-defensive coordinators. Justin Enna, who served as defensive coordinator last season, will now coach inside linebackers.
It's going to look similar to what you saw in 2018. So we're going to be a multiple out-front 3-4 defense is what we're going to be running this with the ability to get into some of the even fronts and with different coverages.
We really want to bring the attacking style of defense back. Hard emphasis on the takeaways. We were fortunate in 2018 to lead the nation in takeaways. 3 and outs, get ourselves off the field, get the offense a chance to get back on, change those paces, put the stress on other defenses.
More college football news, please. It's always welcome in January. The Pac-12 football schedules were released this week. The Utes open the season at Rice-Eccles Stadium against BYU on Thursday, September 3rd. After non-conference games against Montana State and Wyoming, they'll visit Cal in their conference opener, September 26th. Highlights include a Friday night home game against USC on October 2nd, a home game against Washington on October 17th. Their bye week is the following week. They close the season with 2 road games at Arizona State and Colorado. Now back to hoops. The Salt Lake City Stars hit the road this week. A trip to New York to take on the Westchester Knicks. Jarrell Brantley, the player the Jazz are really high on, their second-round pick, led the Stars with 26 points. If he could do this with the Jazz, that would be helpful. Someday he will. Nice pick-and-roll play for the slam. Throwing it down again with authority. All right, you know what? Let's take a look at former BYU and Provo High star Kyle Collinsworth. He had a great game. 16 points and 15 rebounds, but it wasn't enough as the Stars lose 108-104. High school hoops, a big one on Friday night. Number 2 Davis, number 3 Layton, Julian Blackman showing up for his alma mater. First quarter, Boston Painter, the two-handed dunk, gives Layton the lead. Davis's Jake Sampson takes it right back, and the Darts are up 1. But you can't leave Ethan Potter open. Close game till the end. Layton celebrates. They stay perfect. Friday night, Box Elder hosting Bountiful. This game turned into a dunk contest. Bountiful's Robert Whaley with the left hand. Later in the second quarter, he shows his skill with a spin move in the post. 3 minutes later, he does it again for an and one. Box Elder's Parker Buchanan can play above the rim too. 6'7" junior. Dunk so good, it froze in time. Bountiful ends up getting the win on the road. Skyview, number 1 in 4A, and RPI hosting number 4 Ridgeline. Big game in Cache Valley. Future Utah runner Ute Mason falls with 17 points. His teammate Sam Phipps led the Bobcats with 23. Some of them coming on dunks. Ridgeline cut the Skyview lead to 8, but in the fourth, Phipps' defense coming up big, the steal and dunk, and then that. Skyview takes sole possession of first place in Region 11. Pleasant Grove gets a big road win in Region 4, taking down Corner Canyon. This is Jamari Egbert going baseline for the hammer. Second half, time running out in the third. Isaac Vaha with the rebound. And at the buzzer, he led the Vikings with 22 points in a road win. Top 5 matchup in high school hoops. Corner Canyon at Skyridge on Tuesday. Skyridge built a 16-point lead in the first. Trevin Snoddy's throwdown a part of that, but Corner Canyon rallied, sent it to overtime. In OT, Chargers down 1. The chance for the win. Snoddy with the block leads to a fast break layup from Duncan Reed. He had a game-high 23. One last heave from Trace Ross to tie it. It came up short. Skyridge held on for the 59-56 win. On Tuesday, Bountiful made the trip to Mount Pleasant to play Wasatch Academy.
There's a steal from Colmero.
This is Leo Colmera flying down the lane for a dunk. He's from Brazil, committed to Fresno State. This is Madi Sissoko, committed to Michigan State, back from injury. He had 14. This is Caleb Lohner, signed with Utah. Yes, the running Utes are getting a talented player that can do things like that. Bountiful was led by Cam Chisholm, who had 15, including that 3 from the parking lot. The play of the game made by Wasatch Academy's Brennan Rigsby. So that's a big-time play. Wasatch Academy won that game 97-60. And Fremont got a road win at Syracuse in Region 1. Baylor Harrop put somebody on a poster. Ooh, he had 11 points. Dallin Hall 24 in the win. We'll be right back after this. All right, that is it for SportsBeat. Coming up on the KSL 5 News at 10 tonight, we'll have Jazz highlights. Mike Conleys return to the Jazz lineup. We'll also have BYU taking on Gonzaga and much more coming up at 10. For now, enjoy these highlights again of Wasatch Academy flying all over the gym on Tuesday night.
And there's a steal from Palmero. Leo with the top.